Denise.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Yeah, I just needed to take you through a few things, and I just would love to know what your thoughts are for
Okay.
the times that you have been maybe into existence, and there's certain things that I know that maybe you've ever heard of, or maybe you came across. Are you familiar with the term abortion?
Yes, I am.
So, how would you define the term abortion?
Well, to me, abortion involves the removing of a fetus,
Yeah.
or a developing fetus, like before it actually gets out, like before its due date, that's like 9 months before it's brought into the world. So it's like you're terminating the life, like you're removing it out before it develops, like you don't want it. To me, that's an abortion.
All right. So, do you think that it's something that someone intends, or at times they don't intend? It's maybe something that someone maybe just says, maybe might be my choice, or maybe others say like maybe it isn't my choice, but maybe there are circumstances that has brought about that. So, what would be like the real clarity of what abortion is? Do you think like it's the intentional ending of pregnancy, or it's not intentional?
To me, I think it's intention. By the
Okay.
time someone goes to the doctor and is like, I want this removed, you already know very well what you're doing. So you're going and you are having it removed because you want it. So you know very well that they want to move it away from there. So I think it's intentional. By the time you're going, you have knowledge, like full knowledge of it.
All right then. So, what would be some of the reasons that maybe influences ladies to go in for abortion?
There are very many reasons actually. One can be the untimeliness, like no plans. It wasn't by choice. It was mostly by chance. Like it just happened to them, and they didn't really want it. So now the person is looking at, how am I going to provide for this kid? How are my parents going to look at it? That's for the set of students, because you know very well you did that and you're not supposed to do it. So now you're wondering, how are my parents going to look at me? They will most probably going to chase me out. So yeah, it's mostly the untimely planning. And for some it's maybe illnesses, maybe lack of support. They don't have the support for it. There are very many numbers of reasons that can lead to that.
All right, so maybe based on the reasons that you have given, do you think that really gives one a clear view or a foundation to end the life of the other?
At the moment, when that person makes up that decision, at that moment, to them, yes, it gives them reason to remove the kid. You know how you make a decision in rush moments, when you're under pressure and everything. To you at that time, that's like the best decision you're making. That's the only thing you're looking at, removing the kid. So for you at that time, yes, it's a foundation for them at that time. But then in the long run, if you look at it, it's not really a reason for it to remove it, because what if the parents actually accepted the child? What if you gave birth to the child and actually you didn't go homeless, or there's provision by someone, or something happened? So they don't really look at the what if, the long term. No, someone is looking at the short term at that moment.
All right, so do you think it is okay?
To me, no,
It isn't okay.
it isn't okay.
All right, so what if maybe someone comes up with maybe cases like rape, ectopic pregnancy? Do you think that considering abortion would be the step ahead?
Well, for the rape fight, for that one, it has conflicts. It really has conflicts, because you're looking at a case whereby someone was raped and is going to be having trauma. It's okay, it's going to be having trauma of all that incidents that happened to them. So to some extent, really, to some extent, I would actually also say yes, it's fine. It was a rape case. But then also to some extent, it's not really fine, because you look at a point of someone is going to, how can I put it? Okay, with time, someone is actually going to heal from that. You're most probably going to heal from that trauma, like everything that was caused to you. You'll heal from it, and you realize that okay, life moves on after that.
So you're saying that if someone was raped and the decision they've made is to terminate the pregnancy, in a long run they'll get the healing.
Yes.
How
they will.
accurate is that? Because I think when someone, you have been raped and now adding on with terminating the pregnancy, I don't think whether there is a healing in between there. Because we see like these are now contradicting dilemmas. You're in between two dilemmas, the rape case and also the abortion part of it. Because sometimes you might not feel the inching part of it, like okay, I have done it, maybe like everything is okay, but like still as time goes on, the trauma still comes back. Okay, let's assume that you were raped and then you terminated the pregnancy, then like in time to come you failed to conceive. So like how would you like basically maybe bring out that, like would you start finger pointing that maybe something isn't right with yourself, but yet not remembering that something that you did some years ago is what is causing that? So do you think that terminating a pregnancy that has been a result of rape brings about total healing?
When put that way, then it's a no. It's a no.
Right.
So, okay, when you brought in the case of in the near future you've terminated the pregnancy, and then you actually have now no more chances of getting pregnant again, in that case then it's really a no. So now for that I would actually say the person should really just hold on there. Yes, it happened, accept the fact that it happened, and find life somewhere else. Okay, like find yourself, learn to live with it, learn to move on, try to forget. Okay, forgetting will be kind of very hard, but with time, yes, it will happen. Slowly, baby steps, you'll reach there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I had something small here for you to watch.
My name is Dr. Anthony Levatino. I'm a practicing obstetrician gynecologist, and I've performed over 1,200 abortions. Today I'm going to describe a first trimester surgical abortion called suction D&C, dilatation and curettage. This is the most frequently performed abortion and is used typically from 5 to 13 weeks of pregnancy. After administering anesthesia, the abortionist uses a speculum like this. This is placed inside the vagina and opened using this screw on the side, allowing the abortionist to see the cervix, the entrance to the uterus. The cervix acts as a gate that stays closed for the duration of pregnancy, protecting the baby until it is ready for birth. The abortionist uses a series of metal rods called dilators, like these, which increase in thickness, and inserts them into the cervix to dilate it, gaining access to the inside of the uterus where the baby resides. The baby has a heartbeat, fingers, toes, arms, and legs, but its bones are still weak and fragile. The abortionist takes a suction catheter like this one. This is a 14 French suction catheter. It's clear plastic, about 9 inches long, and it has a hole through the center. It is inserted through the cervix into the uterus. The suction machine is then turned on with a force 10 to 20 times more powerful than your household vacuum cleaner. The baby is rapidly torn apart by the force of the suction and squeezed through this tubing down into the suction machine, followed by the placenta. Though the uterus is mostly emptied at this point, one of the risks of a suction D&C is incomplete abortion, essentially pieces of the baby or placenta left behind. This can lead to infection or bleeding. In an attempt to prevent this, the abortionist uses a curette to scrape a lining of the uterus. A curette is basically a long-handled curved blade. Once the uterus is empty, the speculum is removed and the abortion is complete. The risks of suction D&C include perforation or laceration of the uterus or cervix, potentially damaging intestine, bladder, and nearby blood vessels, hemorrhage, infection, and in rare instances, even death. Future pregnancies are also at a greater risk for loss or premature delivery due to abortion-related trauma and injury to the cervix. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm Dr. Anthony Levatino, and in the early part of my career as an OBGYN, I performed over 1,200 abortions. One day, after completing one of those abortions, I looked at the remains of a preborn child whose life I had ended, and all I could see was someone's son or daughter. I came to realize that killing a baby at any stage of pregnancy for any reason is wrong. I want you to know today, no matter where you're at or what you've done, you can change. Make a decision today to protect the preborn. Thank you for your time. I will no longer do any more abortions. When you finally figure out that killing a baby that big for money is wrong, that it doesn't take you too long to figure out it doesn't matter if the baby is this big or this big or this big or maybe even this big, it's all the same. And I haven't done any since then, and I never will.
So,
What do you expect me to say?
I don't know. I don't know what you've perceived from it. Maybe you need to share with me.
Abortion is murder. You finally get to accept that from that video, especially from where the baby was set apart, like head
Torn into pieces using the sucking mic.
exactly. And yes, it actually has more. How can I put it? More of the terrible part, like more of the effects, the after effects of it are actually more than what someone really expects.
Okay. So, what would be your advice to the young ladies outside there who think that abortion is okay, or maybe who have had lies about abortion, and to them they clearly understand or feel that abortion is just something so
solution.
easy to deal with, and it's the easiest solution the moment you happen to get pregnant or having unintended pregnancy. The best solution is always abortion. So what would be your advice to them?
Hang in there. You went for it knowing.
Okay.
Yeah. And besides, okay, one bad decision does not really make you a very terrible person, or it doesn't really end everything. Since you've already gotten the pregnancy, just how bad can 9 months be? How bad can it be holding it in there? So I from the video, okay, I'm willing to suffer for it now.
Okay.
'Cause the bad parts are even more. The future pregnancies, the injuries you might get, the internal bleedings and everything. So I would actually suggest holding there. Maybe for a student who is afraid of the parents or what, a parent remains a parent from what I know. Yeah, he'll forgive you. He'll actually welcome you back and accept his grandchild with time. I'm going to love them.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, please, for your time. We do appreciate you.
You're welcome.